In this video, I will reveal the secret behind Criss Angel's famous body swap illusion. Here's a quick recap of what happened. In this trick, Criss Angel has a man and woman lay their backs on separate benches parallel to one another. Then he requests 4 volunteers from the crowd in the scene to pull the legs and arms of the individuals laying on the bench. Afterward, the magician mysteriously splits the woman in half by placing his hands on her stomach. Also, he turns to the man and splits him in half, as he did with the woman. With their bodies detached, he carries the woman's upper body and puts her on the ground. As he carries the man's upper body to place him on the bench he lifted the woman's upper body from, the woman crawls away in shock. Amazingly, neither the woman nor the man are bleeding, and their lower and upper bodies aren't lifeless. The man's legs are visibly moving on the bench, and he moved his hands when Criss placed him on the woman's bench. Before the woman crawls too far away, the magician picks her up, calms her down, and puts her on the bench he lifted the man's upper body from. Thereafter, the magician performs one of the most amazing magic illusions ever caught on camera. He merges the man's upper body with the woman's lower body, and merges the woman's upper body with the man's lower body. After merging them, both of them stood up and walked properly, without any support or difficulty. Well, how did the magician execute his tricks? Here is how he did them. Criss used 2 look-alike males and females in this trick to make it seem like a real magic illusion, and the crowd around the scene were all stooges. The woman he walks to the bench at the beginning of his magic show is the first female replica and is visibly young. Similarly, the man he initially asked to lie on the other bench is the first male replica. We notice several camera angle changes in the clip, which enables the magician and his assistants to do setups whenever required without being detected by viewers. A camera cut happened after Criss asked some people to come over to pull the legs and arms of the man and woman lying on the benches. The purpose of this cut was to actualize the first setup, which was to change the woman laying on the bench to a different woman. Looking closely after the camera cut, we observe that the second female replica looks older than the first female replica, and her legs are fake. To trick the audience into believing it's the same woman, both ladies are wearing similar blouses and have the same hairdo. Also, the woman's fake legs are wearing the exact replica of the skirt the first female replica has on. In addition, the second replica female's upper body is completely real, as she's half-bodied. Half-bodied humans are amputees, or people that suffer from amelia, a physical abnormality present from birth, or fractional omission of one lower limb or more at birth. Likewise, a half-bodied replica was used to replace the man laying on the other bench during the aforementioned camera cut. Both men have the same hairstyle on and are wearing sunglasses. The purpose of the sunglasses is to cover most of their faces to hinder viewers from spotting the difference between them. Additionally, unlike the half-bodied woman, the half-bodied man has short legs. To hide his short legs, he is wearing a plastic shell under his body to hide them. That explains why his body seems to be longer than hers, and a black material can be seen covering the lower part of his body. We observe another setup when an extra camera cut is done and the man's fake legs appear to be moving. During the setup, 2 thin wires that are undetectable were connected to the fake legs. Hence, the magician's assistants pulled the legs to trick the audience when the camera started recording. When Criss seems to lay the half-bodied man on the bench to attach him to the woman's fake legs, a switch has been made. The man on the bench wasn't the half-bodied man, but the first male replica. Looking through narrowed eyes, we discover that he presses the bottom of his shirt with his hands against the bench before Criss lays him on the bench. Additionally, the shirt is split from the back and he doesn't have it worn properly. Instead, he puts his hands and neck into it from the back. Also, he is sitting in a twisted position, with his lower body taking the position of the woman's fake legs. While he maintains that sitting position, with his legs in the skirt, the upper part of the skirt is braced to seem like the woman's lower body. Then the camera is set to an angle that makes it appear like the man's upper body is still detached from the woman's lower body. Additionally, the man is wearing a model of the sandals previously worn by the first female replica. To make the trick work perfectly, his toenails are painted pink, like that of the woman. When Criss supposedly attaches the detached man to the woman's lower body, we confirm our previous claim of his shirt not being worn properly. His body isn't in the shirt as he lays on his back. Instead, the front and back of the shirt appear to be above his body. To prevent viewers from noticing the shirt, the camera was focused on the man only for a few seconds when the magician stood him up. In addition, the camera didn't show the man's back view the moment he stood up, which would have exposed the entire trick. However, in an instant, he takes the shirt off and wears it properly when the camera sways from him to focus on the woman. Furthermore, the woman already had the exact type of shorts worn by the male replica under her skirt before the show started. Hence, she takes the skirt off, revealing the shorts, and wears a black pair of socks and shoes when the camera was still focused on the man. Thereafter, she replaces the half-bodied woman with the fake legs on the bench. Therefore, when they both stood up, their upper bodies were not switched. Behind this mask, only the truth remains till we meet again.